friends, welcome back to Book Miss. I am needing to read some stuff before the end of the year, but I'm struggling to figure out what I want to read. So I had this crazy idea, which I've of course seen a bunch of other people do already, but if there's anybody who knows my taste while having different tastes than me and could give me a recommendation of what book to read, it's not going to be Goodreads, it's not going to be Fable, it's not going to be any of those things. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go a little more personal. So I decided to contact the one person who knows me more than most people in my life and see what they think I should read this week.
Me. Her husband.
This is Vaughn, my husband.
My name is Vaughn, yeah.
And what do you like to read?
Cormac McCarthy, when I can understand the words that he uses. Not often. But yeah, I'm excited to apply my knowledge of books to your tastes.
Awesome. So what is your game plan going into Barnes & Noble?
Well, it's going to be a lot of judging a book by its cover, I think.
Okay.
Got to have a pretty cover, maybe some sprayed edges. Mm-hmm. Sprayed edges, I know you like those.
Okay.
And in terms of the content, something a little spicy, but it needs a good balance, right?
That's true.
Balance. We want a balanced book in terms of the spice level. We're going to be looking for some classic romance tropes, some fake dating maybe. Ooh. Maybe some miscommunication trope perhaps. And definitely some Act 3 breakup. We want something really gripping. So those are my priorities.
All right, well, I think you have learned all of the buzzwords that I say to you when I do descriptions of the books that I'm reading. So yeah, we're gonna go to Barnes & Noble today, and Vaughn is gonna pick out a couple of books for me to read this week, and I'm gonna read them, and I'm a little scared. But I will follow up with him at the end of the week to let him know how he did. But first, we have to actually go get the books. So that's what we're gonna do.
Transition. Because if they don't have it, I don't want to let you down. I'm thinking this one, just because you've been wanting a hardback Penguin Classics, and this one's, you know, the inspiration for a movie that you liked on an airplane. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely got some romance in it. Okay. Probably not very spicy. The cover sucks. I will judge it by its cover. This one has cooler sprayed edges. This one has a cooler cover. Put this on your TBR if it's not there already.
It is.
So I think we've got a decent balance here, and this one's going to be a little more PG-13. This one's not that.
Okay. So these are your final choices.
Yes.
Okay. Hello friends, so it has been a little while since I last talked to you, which I mean I haven't really talked to you much. I just gave you the intro and then you just saw other things happen. But I've been doing this whole time, but it's also the holidays right now, so a lot of stuff is happening beyond that. But I really want to do this video, so I'm here to catch you up on what's been going on behind the scenes. I took Vaughn to Barnes & Noble. We went around, did a lot of laps. He was lost. I knew where to go, but it was all, you know, his ideas, his plans. He went in with some semblance of a plan, and he picked out a couple books for me to read. And those books that he picked out were Little Women and Her Soul to Take. Two very different books, as you can imagine if you've ever read any of these books or know what either of these books are about. But it's making it all the more enjoyable, and I am pretty close to finished with both of these books, honestly, because I've had all of this time during the holidays to read them, and specifically I'm about like 50 pages away from finishing Little Women, so I'm probably gonna finish that today, and it has been such a cozy book to sit down and read. I was honestly a little intimidated by Little Women. I haven't read a lot of classics. It is a pretty big book, and I know a lot of people love it, and I was worried that I was not going to. But the whole reason Vaughn picked this book for me, I think in general, was because I want to read more classics, and he supports that part of my literature brain. But also, I remember we were flying somewhere, and I had never seen the newest Little Women movie with Florence Pugh and Timothée Chalamet and everybody. So I turned it on that flight and watched it, but he wasn't even listening to it. He just looked over and was kind of watching it without being able to hear it. So I watched that a little while ago. I didn't really remember a whole lot about it. I remembered like the main plot points, I would say. So I knew going into this what the big moments were going to be, but I couldn't really like take everything from that movie and put it in here. And obviously books are gonna be different than movies anyways. So I have really enjoyed this. It's probably gonna be a 5-star. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. I mean, rating it something with my current rating system, because it's like, yeah, I have a ton of 5-star reads this year. They're not like this. Like, they don't make books like this anymore, you know? So it's just different. It's a different level of a 5-star read, I would say, but I think overall it has been very enjoyable. The story itself is very cutesy, and I definitely think it's a read that a lot of people could benefit from. Are there things that do not hold up? Yes. I remember I was reading on the couch the other night, and I literally read a line and I was like, whoa, you can't say that today. That would not fly. But like, I'm giving it grace where I need to, you know? Because this is not something that was written in the last 5 years. I'm treating it as such. He also decided to choose Little Women, I think because I, a little while ago when we were on a trip, decided I wanted to start collecting the different classics, especially the Penguin classics, because I like the little, I don't even know what material this is, but I like these covers where they've got like the design, one of the designs that like go with the story, and it's a nice, I don't know, what is it? Leather? Suede? It's not leather. It's probably not suede either. Whatever this is, cloth bound. The cloth bound Penguin classics. I like them. So I think he really wanted to get me one that was one of these, because I already had Dracula. I have not read Dracula, but I should. And I want to collect different cloth-bound Penguin classics because I like them a lot. So that was his choice, number 1 choice. You should probably read it. It's also just like a gentle read. Like, even when I don't quite understand what's happening, it feels cozy, it feels comforting, and it's a lot easier to read than like Shakespeare. So if you want to get into classics, I think this is a gentle way to get there. Moving on to that thing here, I I have read about 50% of this. If you've read this book, you know what I'm getting at. I think that he picked this book because he, first of all, really wanted to get me like a special edition, even though it literally is Christmas. Well, at the time it was almost Christmas. Now Christmas has passed, and he already bought me books that I wanted that were special editions. So I don't know why he felt the need to give me another special edition, but we love him for that. So he wanted to get me something with a sprayed edge, because I always love a sprayed edge, special edition, whatever, what have you. And it is a beautiful book. Like, this cover, stunning. This sprayed edge, stunning. The inside, stunning. She is signed, which is always a plus. It's just, it is a beautiful book. Her Soul to Take is kinky, and whatever I was expecting, it was not this. It's not bad. I don't hate it. I am enjoying the book. I'm excited to finish it, and it's like, it's a page turner. Like, every time I end a chapter, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta keep going because he just left me on a cliffhanger. I've got to figure out what's going on. I do think that sometimes the dialogue feels a little Wattpad-y, and I love Wattpad. That's okay, but it is a little unnatural sometimes, I suppose. So I don't know. I have only read one other dark romance, and that was earlier this year. I read Butcher and Blackbird. I loved Butcher and Blackbird. I think that it was really great. A lot of content warnings, so look at those. You should also look at content warnings for this. This is more. This has more. This is darker, I think. This is a little darker, a little spicier, but it's on the same wavelength. They're like cousins. This and Butcher and Blackbird are like cousins. But in this, I didn't really go into what Little Women was about because I feel like a lot of people know what Little Women is about. This book, demons and cults. Our female main character, Ray, is a college student. She doesn't really talk like a college student, so I think that also is kind of like not clicking with me. I'm like, oh, this does not feel like a college student. But she also has like a paranormal investigation YouTube channel, and she just moved back to her hometown, which she moved away from when she was very young, and she's dealing with all this weird stuff that's happening because it's a spooky town, and she thinks it's just haunted, but really there's more to it. There's more to the story of the town and her ancestors, and also there's a family there that summoned a demon, and he falls for her and she falls for him, and they have lots of hardcore times, and that's kind of the story. It's interesting, okay? Like, I really liked the concept of Butcher and Blackbird. This concept is very interesting. I mean, demons and cults and, you know, things that could very much be real, but nobody wants to think about. It's an interesting concept. It's just a little sluttier than I thought it was gonna be, but that's okay. That's okay. I am not blind to spice, okay? We're taking this one step at a time. I actually, even though this is a beautiful, beautiful book, I've been reading it on my Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited right now. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can check out what I'm talking about. I love reading a physical book. I do love my Kindle though. This is my girl. And I specifically love reading things on my Kindle if they're on Kindle Unlimited and I already own them, because I like to read in bed a lot at night and I don't want to keep all the lights on. So that's what she's for. So I need to finish her as well, but this one's going a lot faster than Little Women did. I mean, Little Women was just a lot to take in, and honestly, like halfway through Little Women, I was like, I gotta listen to this a little bit while I'm doing other things because it was just going slow for me. And I did, and honestly that helped, because then once I reached the last like 150 pages, I was in. I was in. It's fine. I've been reading near the Christmas tree. I've been reading in bed, and I've been good. So that's all good. And I'm gonna finish that up here in a little bit. And then I'm going to put some more work into Her Soul to Take. I will keep you updated on that. And then once we get those done, I'm hoping to get them done in the next couple of days. I will sit down with Vaughn and I will tell him how he did. I will tell him about the books because he's never gonna read them. So I'll let him know what they're about. And I'll give him my rating, let him know how he did. And I don't know, we'll see if he ever wants to do this for me in the future. I think it would be fun. I think I would definitely like other people to pick my reads as well, because I think that would be interesting to just see like who picks the best stuff for me. I don't know. Maybe Aspen can pick my reads for a week. What do we think he would pick for me? What would you pick for me? What do you want me to read? Okay, look, it's almost the end of the year and I don't look too good, but I finished the 2 books that my husband picked out for me to read. Did I do it in a week? No, but that's none of your business. I did it before the end of the year, and that's all that matters. Her Soul to Take, which was the last book that Vaughn picked out for me. What do I say about this book? I kind of was at a loss for words the first time that I talked to you guys about this book, about like 50% check mark. And I finished it, and I'm still at a loss for words. I've never read anything like this before in my life. I finished it this morning. I got all cozy in my blanket hoodie because it's almost the end of the year, and I have no interest in making myself look presentable at all, even for the camera. And I grabbed my Kindle, I sat by the Christmas tree, and I just finished this off. I was at like 95% when I went to sleep last night, so it was simple, it was easy, it was whatever. This book was a very fast read. Like, it took me a while because I was reading Little Women like at the same time, but ultimately this book was very easy to read because it was so fast paced, and every chapter ended gearing you up for the next chapter, so like it truly didn't want you to put it down. So they were very successful with that. I also liked the uniqueness of this book. What wasn't unique about this book? It gave witchy vibes that I enjoy. Small town witchy vibes, just very different from the other small town witchy vibes I read earlier this year, which was the X-Hex. Nothing like that book, okay? We're dealing with demons, we're dealing with cults, we're dealing with witches. We're dealing with very dark, gothic fantasy here, but urban fantasy. So it's not like Belladonna. No. This is not YA at all. It's not going to be for everyone. And honestly, it's not entirely for me. I found that there were some moments where I was cringing a little bit. I was trying to read a little fast through some parts because it was a lot for me. The moral of this story is this book, you need to look into what you're about to get into before you read it. I did enjoy this because of the fast-paced nature, because of the uniqueness, but some of the things that I felt were lacking were some of the dialogue was a little rough for me. And yeah, it was a little too hardcore for me. I mean, I complained recently about that Christmas book that I read, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and how hardcore that was for a Christmas book. Like, I get this. This was meant to be hardcore. It was borderline erotica, not just dark romance, so it makes sense. I knew what I was coming into with this, whereas the other book I was like, what? Why? But that being said, it was a lot to take in. A lot. I think overall, even though there are very explicit, spicy scenes, it also had a really good overarching story. So I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. So we finished the 2 books. It's a long time later, and we finished the 2 books that you picked out for me. And I'm going to talk to you about them because I know you've been anxiously awaiting my reviews and knowing what they're about.
It's been so long since you finished these books that I wasn't sure you ever finished them.
I did.
I haven't heard about them in a while.
I did. I finished these books. Congrats to me. Okay, so which book would you like to learn about first?
The boring one.
The boring one. Well, it wasn't boring.
Oh.
I liked Little Women a lot, actually. It's different than the movie I watched, but not super.
I watched it too.
Right. With no sound.
Yeah, I was just looking at her screen on the plane.
It's different than the movie, but not entirely different. The main plot points are there, so like I knew what I was getting into, but not entirely. This book was really good. I was really nervous about it because I had not really read a classic in full, but it was a lot easier to read than I thought it was going to be. And overall, it was a very comfortable book to read. It's very like kind of cottagecore. Like, I don't know, it's very what?
I thought that Jane Austen wrote this.
No.
Who wrote this?
Louisa May Alcott.
So what's her writing style like?
I mean, I literally like call this like a warm drink, like a mug of a warm beverage.
Like a mulled wine?
No, that's a little too spicy.
Oh,
There's
wow.
no spice in this.
No
There's
spice?
also barely any romance in this.
What a ripoff!
I mean,
That's the only reason I got it.
there's like relationships, but like it's more of a coming of age book. It's not a romance book.
A Bildungsroman, some might say.
Okay. You literally follow the 4 sisters from like an early age to when they become women. It's
not so little anymore.
Overall, it was really comfy and cozy, I think. It was a really great time to read it too, next to the Christmas tree, bundled up because it's
Starts
cold
around
out.
Christmas, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Christmases in here actually because it spans so long time.
Right.
Yeah, so it was really good, and I feel like you can always find a way to relate to every character. Except for Laurie. I didn't like Laurie in this.
Is that Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I gave it 5 stars.
5 stars?
I gave it 5
Damn,
stars.
what's the last 5-star you gave out?
Before this, I don't remember.
Been that long. All right, Louisa Ann Alcott. May Alcott.
Well, it's...
Well done.
I also talked about it, like, rating a classic is different because like this doesn't hold up to the 5 stars I've given to more recent books because this is just a different time.
What time period is it? Like early 1900s?
Civil War.
Oh wow, okay.
The dad I think is in the Civil War.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
But I liked it. Of course I relate to Joe.
Which one is that in the movie? What actress?
Saoirse Ronan.
Ah, okay. Yes.
Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse.
All right, what about this one?
Her Soul to Take. I want to start by asking you what you think this book is about.
I mean, based on the summary that I read in the cover or whatever, it sounds like it's about an incubus, and that incubus like seducing some girl, and then they fall in love, and she changes him, and he's not evil. He's just misunderstood. Okay.
So, to start off, our female main character, this is dual POV, by the way.
Oh, okay.
This was...
Is it like evenly split? Do you get...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
For the most part. So, our female main character is Ray. She is a college student who's moving back to her hometown that she moved away from with her family when she was really little.
Hell.
No, it's just a small town. It gives me like Forks vibes, like from Twilight. Very like kind of dark and mysterious. Like, yeah, it seemed Pacific Northwest. I don't know if they ever say exactly where it's supposed to be, but it seems that way. And she is really into the occult. She actually has a paranormal investigation YouTube channel.
Oh.
But it's not doing too well because she's not getting evidence.
Wow.
But she thinks this is the perfect place. This is the perfect place to do it because it's a spooky occult town. There's always whisperings of cults and paranormal activity in the area. So she goes to a freaking church at night.
Good for her.
An abandoned church.
Oh.
An abandoned church.
Different vibe.
And she uses this kind of a diary, like a weird book that she found in her friend's bookstore that has all of this occult stuff in it, and she finds a page that shows her how to summon a demon. So she uses it.
As one does.
And she summons a demon.
And he's hot?
Well, she figures out that the demon she summoned, she already knows.
How?
Because he works at the college. He is a little mysterious and weird, and she doesn't know how to feel about them, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to feel either.
He's kind of hot.
What the hell?
He's kind of hot, and so she's like...
Did she think he was hot before she found out he was a demon? A secret demon?
She thought he was hot before. Okay. In fact, the second time that they meet, she's at a bar, and she goes out to an alley to follow him, where he's smoking his vape. She follows him
into an alley?
Yeah, because she's really intrigued by him, and in that alley, he... in an alley.
Have they ever,
while his
talked?
Friend is watching.
Have they ever talked before this? This is their first encounter?
Second encounter. They did talk before that, and he was, he's kind of like a cocky dude. Like he flirts with her, but he's kind of mean about it. In this book, they do a lot.
I bet.
They go to all the bases. They go to all of the bases.
Wow.
Yes, it is way
That's bad.
Way spicier than the Grinch Christmas Romance, but like I expected it because it's a dark romance, and that's typical for this. So I knew that was going to happen, but it was a lot.
And this is book 1
of a trilogy.
Trilogy.
I think the trilogy follows different couples though, so this is their story. Besides the spice, we're following the fact that she basically gets tied up with this local cult that wants to sacrifice her because of like an ancient history, like occult history that there is. But yeah, so she utilizes her demon boyfriend to, keep her safe while all these people are trying to kill her.
Okay. Wow.
She wants him to take care of her, not let her die, but he wants to own her soul so that they can be connected together forever.
They said the thing.
They said the thing. He wants to take her soul.
What's the demon's name?
Leon.
Wow. It's cute. Cheeky. It's just Noelle backwards.
Oh, okay.
I know that from Home Improvement.
So that is Her Soul to Take. And I gave it 3.5 stars.
That seems fair.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think this cover really indicates any of the story. Do you see yourself reading the rest of the trilogy, the Souls trilogy?
At this time, no.
Is this TikTok famous?
I think it got popular on Book Talk, yeah.
Okay, cool. Harley, keep up the great work. You're doing a good job with the spice, especially compared to Louisa. No spice. How well did I do with picking books for you?
I think you did a good job. They were, different, and
they were very different.
Probably a couple things that I never would have picked up myself. No.
Did they hold hands at all? Maybe a peck on the cheek, here or there?
The oldest sister ends up having 2 kids. We just don't get to know about how they were conceived.
Boring.
How do you feel about the books you picked out for me? Would you pick out books for me again?
Yeah. I think that was a fun little exercise.
Okay.
I like picking 2 books that are drastically different, and I think I somehow succeeded in that even more than I intended to. So
absolutely.
I'll try and match that.
Okay. I like it. All right. Well, thank you so much
Of
for picking
course.
out books for me. That's all I have.